Hey guys, Alex here, and in this video we're going to be talking all about action cameras and mounts for motocross action content. So for those of you who don't know me, I've been recording motocross action footage for nearly a decade now, so I've tried almost every single mounting configuration and quite a wide variety of different cameras. So in this video we're going to talk about which combination you can use to get the desired outcome that you want in your footage from your motocross riding content. So in the first part of this video, we're going to be talking about which camera I recommend, and then in the second half of the video, we're going to be talking about which mount works best for you. So when we're talking about action cameras, the first brand you usually think of is GoPro, and I've been using GoPro for years. In fact, this is my first ever GoPro that I bought, is the Hero Session, the original Hero Session that you can't even buy anymore. And no, I don't recommend this camera. It's tiny, it doesn't record in Super View, so I just have it out because all my other cameras are on my old helmet. But is GoPro still the best brand for content is the question. In my opinion, no. GoPro has focused in the past few generations of their camera of instead of focusing on improving the camera, they've been adding accessories and different things, which would be fine if they were the best camera already, but they're not. In terms of quality, audio quality, stabilization, ease of use, DJI and Insta360 have both surpassed GoPro at this point in time. So which one do I recommend? An Insta360 Ace Pro, and now they have the Ace Pro 2, or a DJI Osmo Action 5? Well, I can't recommend either of those because I haven't tried either of those new cameras. But what I do have is the DJI Osmo Action 4 camera. Now before we get started on why I think this camera is the best for you to buy for motocross content, I bought this with my own money. This isn't sponsored or anything, so this is my honest opinion. The last GoPro that I tried was this GoPro Hero 11 Mini, which I love the form factor, and the fingers on the back make it really easy to mount to your helmet, but it doesn't have an interchangeable battery, and that was the big downside of this camera. So that's why I looked elsewhere and I settled on the DJI Osmo Action 4. And here's a few reasons why. If you want to know all the specs about all the cameras and why the quality is better on DJI versus GoPro, I'm not going to go over all that here. That's not my area of expertise. There's lots of other videos on YouTube that I've watched that help me decide which camera I wanted. So I'm going to go over just a couple reasons on why I think this camera is ideal for motocross helmet camera action content. And first of all is what you just saw. I pulled it right off this magnetic mount. You can set up your mount and then just leave it on your helmet. You don't ever have to worry about getting the right angle again. And that's one thing that sucked about the GoPro. Now they do have the magnetic mounting system, but it's also an accessory, so it costs more. Of course they don't throw it in. Why would they? It's GoPro. So that's one thing that's really nice. Another thing that I really like about this camera is that it's light. Now as far as the image quality and all that between the Insta360 and then the DJI, they're pretty darn close. But the Insta360 is significantly heavier, and that's the reason why I settled on the Osmo Action 4. It's because it's the lightest camera on the market, and in addition to being the lightest camera, it's also the cheapest option out of the three, which is crazy to me because, in my opinion, it's the best. And another advantage of this camera is that it has the best battery life out of the Insta360 GoPro and DJI options. So that's really nice. I have extra batteries, but I've never even used them because the battery on this thing lasts so long. Another thing you might notice is that it has a dark screen around it. That is called an ND filter. What an ND filter does is help you achieve that realistic motion blur setting. You can lock the shutter speed on your camera to a spot where it gives you that realistic motion blur. If you're shooting in 30 frames per second, you want to do 1/60th of a second for your shutter speed. If you're doing 60 frames like I normally do, 60 frames per second, you want to set it to 1/120th of a second. And you can do that in your manual settings on the camera. So with the ND filters, I bought this ND filter set, and what makes it really nice on this DJI Osmo Action 4, and the same thing with the 5. The 5 is similar to the 4, it just has a few more features, so I do recommend the 5 over the 4. It just hadn't come out yet when I bought mine, so that's why I got the Osmo Action 4. But it literally, you screw it off like this, and then you just screw on whichever one you want. It's super simple, super easy, and one thing I love is I put screen protectors on all of my lenses because it's motocross action. The odds of you getting hit with a rock and cracking the screen is pretty high. So I put these cheap little screen protectors on it, and it saved me so many times. And where I was going with this is the screen protectors for these ND filters are the exact same size as the regular lens, which makes them universal. Whereas for a GoPro or an Insta360, they go over top of the pre-existing lens and they don't even really physically attach, they just kind of stay there. And I only used it a couple times on my Insta360 and it never fell off, but I wouldn't trust it on a more competitive level. I was just using it in practice. So that's just another thing that I like about the Osmo Action 4. Now, one thing that is true of pretty much all action cameras is you'll notice I have one here as well. The only reason I don't have a windscreen on this camera is because it has the housing around it, which serves as a windscreen. But I recommend getting a foam windscreen for your camera. No matter what these action cameras try to do, they're pretty bad at eliminating that wind noise. So by getting one of these and then putting it over top of your camera, it gives you really crisp and clear audio right out of the camera. So that sums up the section about which camera I think is best to record your action footage content with. We're going to go ahead and jump into the mounting section of this video. Obviously, the mounting and where you put it is just as important as what camera you use. Now for me, the chin mount has always been the preferred option. I've used a bunch of different brands of chin mounts, clamping, Velcro, but what I've settled on is this chinmounts.com system, which uses that same adhesive double sticky tape that a GoPro mount uses, but they custom fit them to each helmet. If you go on their website, you'll see that every single helmet has a custom mount for it. And in my case, I have the Fly Formula helmet, and it fits awesome. I have it on my red helmet here that I used for a couple years, and now I have it on my current helmet as well. And I haven't had any issues with it. I've never had it falling off, I've never had a camera come loose, so I've been super happy. And yes, I am an affiliate with Chin Mount, so if you choose to buy a chin mount, which I do recommend, if you tap the link in the description below, you will get 10% off your order, and that helps me out a little bit too as well, so I greatly appreciate it. But what about if you don't want a mount that sticks to your helmet, or let's say you want to put a camera on your buddy? What's the best option for a strap mount to go to your helmet? Well, interestingly enough, I actually recommend this Insta360 chin strap mount. It's really simple to use and it's fit every helmet that I've tried to use it on so far. It can move around a little bit, it's not as sturdy as the chin mount system, but for putting it on a buddy, like I put it on my brother all the time, or I put it on another fast guy at the track, it's served me really well and is really useful. You can put it on there quick, take it right off quick, and you're done. So that's what I recommend for a strap chin mount on the helmet. There's another area of mounting systems that I haven't touched on, and that's chest mounting. And the reason why I haven't touched on that is I don't use it very often. If you do choose to use a chest mount, the camera that I recommend you use is a 360 camera. And the Insta360 line of 360-degree cameras are the best. So if you're looking for more information on how to mount those, I recommend checking out another video that goes over that, because I don't have enough experience, or any experience really, with that to talk about it. Well, that'll do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this content, and if you have any questions about what camera or mount system that I recommend and I didn't answer it in this video, please leave a comment down below and I will get to those questions right away. But with that being said, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.